This week, we're in beautiful Nova Scotia for the 2025 PGA of Canada Assistance Championship. With a national title on the line and a deep field of talent ready to go low, every shot matters from the very first tee.
Yes.
In this video, we take on round one at Oakfield Golf Club, a demanding test where patience, precision, and momentum can make or break the week. Can we set the tone early and put ourselves in contention? Let's find out.
Sit.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This week we're in Halifax, Nova Scotia at the Oakfield Country Club for the 2025 PGA of Canada Assistance Championship. Roxanne and I made the drive up here yesterday. Nice little 13 hours in the car. Great golf course here at Oakfield. Just under 6,800 yards. Good mix of open holes and some more narrow ones. Par 3s are pretty scoreable. That's where you got to get it. Par 4s are all pretty fair. The par 3s are wonderful and very tough. As for my game, things have been trending back in the right direction. It was actually a bit of a last-minute decision to come out here. And that was basically based on the fact that I was starting to play some better golf. I've done a little bit of work with my coach since you guys would have last seen me. That is definitely helping. It's not always great yet, but the driver specifically is getting a lot better, and the changes we're making is also helping my iron play. So this is going to be a 54-hole stroke play event. There is not going to be a cut this week. And as well as having the individual championship, there's also a 36-hole team event based on provincial teams. And I'm going to be representing Team Quebec. The way that works, for the first two rounds, 4 players per team, the 3 best scores are taken and will count for that day's score. Anyways, that's about all you guys need to know heading into this one. Tournament starts tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:50 tee time. I'm gonna go grab some dinner, get some rest. We'll see you guys in the morning.
Good morning. Really early. Sun is not even here yet.
So I don't think Roxanne was thrilled with how early we got to the golf course this morning.
What changes?
We were literally in the parking lot and it was pitch black out. I kind of miscalculated how long it was going to take us to get to the golf course, and not knowing what the local traffic was going to be like, I prefer to err on the side of caution and get there a little bit early. But we were literally the only car in the parking lot. It was pitch black. It was a good 20 minutes before I could really start doing anything. Anyways, now that the sun is coming up, it is a beautiful morning. It promises to be a beautiful day. It's a little bit chilly right now, but it's going to warm up quite nicely. The Oakfield Golf Club is just a beautiful golf course. Great layout, a lot of very interesting holes. Can be pretty narrow off the tee on a lot of holes, a little bit more forgiving on others. You're going to have to be good off the tee. The greens are very tricky. There isn't a ton of break in them, but they can be tough to read, and that's going to be one of the challenges this week. The course itself comes in at 6,770 yards. It is a par 72. We're just looking to build off of the momentum that we've had recently. The game is coming back around, and we're just looking to take the next step here.
7:50 tee time. First on the tee from Golf Griffin to Source, James Colin Davis.
Hello, guys. Have fun. And here we go. Starting on the first hole, which is a 535-yard par 5, the dog legs to the left. Now, left has been my miss with driver this year. I'm trying not to draw the ball on purpose, because when I do, I tend to overdo it. There's some bunkers straight out here, right out in front of us. I'm just essentially just aiming at the bunkers, and if I happen to turn it over a little bit, great, I'll be able to attack it in 2. If it stays straight, it just becomes a 3-shot hole. That's just a tiny little push out to the right. Pretty good
Next
swing,
on the tee
decent
from
contact.
19th
We'll
Tee
take
Golf
that
Club, Reggie Harmer.
to start this tournament. Unfortunately, we end up kind of in the face of the bunker. That's not a great lie, but it is going to be a 3-shot hole anyway, so it's not the end of the world. 268 yards left. This is just a 9-iron. There's water down the left, so I'm aiming way out to the right, knowing that this should turn over to the left. And as it does a little bit more than I'd expected to. Lands in the fairway, but kicks left into the left rough. Not the end of the world. Now, as mentioned, it's chilly this morning, so it's tough to judge how well the ball's going to travel. The greens have been very firm in the practice round, so this is a gap wedge from 130 yards, trying to land it a little bit short of the flag and skip it up. Unfortunately, it does not carry as far as I expect, and it lands very soft, so that ends up staying in the kind of first third of the green, this pin being a little bit more towards the back. So we have a long look at birdie here to open this tournament. Just looking to get the pace right on this one here. Not too much movement in it. Just slides by on the low side. Pretty decent effort, though I have left myself about 4 to 4.5 feet here. This for an opening par. And that just turned left on me a little bit more than I expected. Lips out on the low side. This is not the start we were looking for. This left for bogey. We'll tuck that away. Let's just forget about that and move on to the next hole. The second hole is a 384-yard par 4, dogleg slightly to the right. Now, if you hit driver straight off of this tee, it does not fade. There is a little body of water out there that could be reachable, so I've elected to lay back with 3-wood. It's still going to give me a wedge in. That was a nice swing right there. Good strike. The ball flight I was looking for, and right down my line. 121 yards left in. This pin on the left side of the green, tucked over a bunker. That again was a little kind of 3/4 swing gap wedge there that I just pushed a little bit out to the right. It lands about pin high and actually spins back down the hill, so the greens are a little bit more receptive today than they had been in the practice round the prior day. So we do have a long look at birdie here again, about 40 feet, going well up the hill here. You can see as soon as I hit that, I knew that I had just absolutely hammer hands that. Just completely forgot what I was trying to do with the pace, and that was very frustrating. We've got this putt here, back down the hill for our par to avoid back-to-back 3 putts to start this tournament. That is a very sloppy start to this 3-day tournament with back-to-back 3-putt bogeys. The third hole is a par 3 today, playing 194 yards, pins kind of at the front of the green. This is a tricky hole. Green's fairly large, but there's a lot of slope, and as soon as you miss it, getting it up and down can be pretty tough. So just looking for a good swing here with my 6-iron. And that was not a good swing with my 6-iron. Just got a little quick, out of sequence. Poor strike, left it out to the right. That's not going to be the easiest place to get up and down from. See, I'm got some rough to carry. This is going to be very quick once it hits the surface. So I'm going to try to elevate this a little bit. Unfortunately, I flew it too far, and look at how hard that kicked forward. Goes right through the green onto the fringe on the other side. This has not been a good start. I'm looking for something to happen just to kind of calm me down a little bit here. Trying to save par from the fringe. Can't get it to the hole. Just not trusting the pace of the greens right now after what happened on the first 2 holes. Still some work here to clean up for my bogey. A 3 over par through 3. There's a lot of golf left, but I've got to get this turned around quickly. The fourth hole is a 335-yard par 4 that doglegs to the left. Now you could take driver up over the trees and leave it just short of the green, but still not feeling awesome with driver. 4-iron here still gives me a wedge in. I know that I might not make as many birdies hitting 4-iron, but I'm taking double bogey or worse out of the equation with this play. There's a good swing there, just down the right side of the fairway. 116 yards left into a pin on the front right of the green. This is my sand wedge here. That there was a much better golf swing. Finally put together two good swings. I was right at it. Just landed on, spun just off the front, but we have a good look at birdie here. This is about 12 feet going slightly uphill with a little bit of turn from left to right. A good roll, just a slight underread, but at least we can go ahead, stop the bleeding, tap in for par, and build some momentum off of how we played that hole. The fifth hole is a par 3 today, playing 200 yards, pin on the back left section of the green. Distance control here is going to be very important. There is some water short. You don't really want to go long because everything slopes away from you. Better strike there. Just turning left on me ever so slightly. It's gonna miss the green just to the left. That's really not that bad of a spot. You can see there's a bit of a fairway runoff area there, so we should have a good lie, though the chip is going to be pretty quick going back down the slope. It's my lob wedge, just trying to land it short and let it release onto the green. Did check up a little bit harder than I had anticipated, but all in all, pretty good chip shot there. Leaves us about 2.5 feet to save our par on this par 3. This putt right now is huge. Good roll there. We remain at 3 over through 5. The sixth hole is a 500-yard par 5. Now, unfortunately, there's no room behind the tee box to get the camera person there, so we're just going to have to see this shot from this angle. This is a fairly straight hole. There's a body of water down the left. There's some bunkers down the right. Good drive here. Would be just left of the bunkers. That was a good swing. Pretty good hit. Just down the right side of the hole. You see Roxanne pans around. I'm going to finish just left of the bunkers down the right, but remain in the rough. Good driver swing though there. That felt pretty good. There's a few good swings in a row here. So I've kind of gathered myself, trying to forget about how we started and just build from here. 218 yards left to a back pin going back up the hill. This is my 4-iron. Fortunately, just kind of slipped a little bit as I initiated the downswing. Was not able to make good contact. That came out low and a little to the left. It basically just turned into a layup shot, but it's obviously not what I was looking for. 65 yards left. This here with my lob wedge. Good strike on a good line, just left of the flag. And pretty good for the distance control. It did just release on me a little bit. It leaves me about 9 feet here going back downhill, turning from left to right. This very quick.
Yes.
We're able to drop that one in and get one back. That gets us back to 2 over par. The seventh hole is a 419-yard par 4 that, as you can see, is very narrow, goes uphill. The fairway slopes from right to left, so anything landing on the left side is going to kick down into the rough by the trees. Need a good one here, and we get a good one here. Great drive, just up the right center of the fairway. That's going to put us in position to attack this hole. 110 yards left. Going uphill. This my sand wedge. Another great strike. Again on a good line. We can't see exactly where it finishes from the fairway, but I have a feeling I've got another good look at birdie here. And we do. About 8 feet. Just going slightly downhill. Not much break in this. Another good roll there. That's back-to-back birdies to get us back to 1 over par on the day. The 8th hole is a 400-yard par 4. This one very straight away. The fairway itself isn't very wide. Being in the rough is okay. Just trying to look for another good driver swing here. We've hit the last two quite well. Just get another good strike, get the ball back in play. That'll put another wedge in our hands, and that should give us another look at birdie. Another really good driver swing right there. Feels like I haven't driven the ball this well in quite some time, and it is a welcome feeling. 89 yards left. This is my lob wedge going uphill to a pin slightly on the left side of the green. It's a good strike, but it just came out a little bit left of my target. It's good for distance, but the slight pull is going to make the birdie putt a little bit longer than we would have liked. We've still got, about 20 feet, a little bit downhill, breaking from left to right. Again, just a slight underread. Did not think it was going to break that hard towards the front of the green. That is an easy par. It keeps us at 1 over on the day. So definitely a shaky start, but we have rallied well. We've got momentum moving back in the right direction. We just need to continue building on this. The 9th hole is a 382-yard par 4. You can see that there is a bunker down the right side. Now this hole slopes from right to left, so the play in the practice round was to hit driver over that bunker, and everything will feed back left into the fairway. That's all I'm trying to do here. Just looking for another good driver swing. It was well hit and on my line, but it came out low with very little spin on it. So that bunker, which really should not have been difficult to carry, the ball just doesn't stay in the air long enough to get over it. 133 yards left to a pin on the back section of this green. This is a pitching wedge from the fairway bunker. It's a good strike, but you can hear me telling it to go as soon as I hit it. It's just going to land short of the slope that separates the front and back of the green and spin back down it. Very close to being a great approach shot from the fairway bunker, but we have now got a long birdie putt here going from the bottom tier to the top tier. Pace control has been a little iffy today. And that definitely a little bit on the firm side. About 5-6 feet left to save our par here on 9. After making a couple of birdies, I really want to convert this so that we stop dropping shots here. Get that one to drop. And considering the start, I'm happy making the turn at 1 over. The 10th hole is a par 4 that dog legs left and goes downhill, 365 yards. I'd hit 3-wood and hybrid in the practice round. Both get to quite narrow areas in the fairway. So I decided I was just going to lay back here with 4-iron. It's going to give me a wedge in anyway, but it's going to guarantee more often than not the ball is going to be in play. Trying to continue getting ourselves back in this thing after the slow start. Just got to take this one shot at a time. 144 yards left in here to a pin on the back left of the green. This is my pitching wedge. Now this was a little bit into the wind but off a downslope, and I thought the two would kind of cancel each other out. You see that this is going to land a little short, which I was expecting to skip up towards the back of the green, and unfortunately it spun back down to the front. So greens have been a little bit tough to judge so far today. This birdie putt going up over a slope, then going back downhill and turning to the right. Another one where the pace is going to be tricky. We did okay for the pace, but obviously a little bit low on the line. I've left myself a little bit of work here. Again, though it is less work than we've left ourselves earlier in the round when we had distance putts. About 3.5 feet here. Put that away for birdie. Keeps us at 1 over par through 10. The 11th hole is a 433-yard par 4. This one fairly straight away. Not the widest of holes, though it does open up a little bit down the left once you get past this initial row of trees here. Again hitting driver, this slightly into the wind. Just looking for another good one here. And that's pretty good right there. Slightly down the right hand side, but not enough that it's going to hurt us. So right side of the fairway, 140 yards in, slightly uphill into the wind. This was a little 9-iron, which was really well hit, but just a little bit pulled to the left. See, it's going to be just past pin high, but it is on the top level. But we're going to have another tricky pace putt here. Clearly my feel for pace has not really been there. This downhill, turning from left to right, this should be very quick. And it was a lot quicker than I had even imagined. So again, we have got to stress over a 6-footer here to save our par. That's going back uphill, turning slightly from right to left. At least we've been good with these short putts since the first few holes. They are keeping us in this. The 12th hole is a really cool 507-yard par 5. This doglegs to the left. You can see a bunker down the left there. If you take it just over the right corner of that, that would be a fairly aggressive line. It'll keep you in the fairway, give you the shortest distance in. I'm aiming just slightly right of that because of my left miss tendency this year. And end up hitting a really nice drive, just a tiny little bit of fade on it. That was well hit. We're absolutely in play. We're going to have a shot at the green in 2. Just in the right rough. We have 199 yards. Pin was front left and there's water short and left. So this 7-iron, I am just looking at the right edge of the green. And if it kicks left, fine. But I'm just trying to put it on the green, give myself a putt, and absolutely not bring that water into play. Now, this ended up landing on the front of the green and kicking a little bit back towards the back part of the green. But that was the right play. We never flirted with the water. We have an eagle putt. Now, again, the pace putting today has not been stellar, but I've got another opportunity here to try and get it right. And finally, from distance, we get the pace right. Leave that in there at about 2.5 feet. We've just got this here to clean up for birdie to get ourselves back to even par. Really nice 2-putt birdie there. It's been a great battle after being 3 over through 3 to get it back to even par. The 13th hole is a beautiful par 3 over water today, playing 159 yards. This was a 9-iron. Felt like we had the wind helping just a little bit here. Decent strike, but again just came out a little bit left on me, but good for distance. Pin high, left side of the green. Gotta look at birdie. Oh, it's not the proximity I would have hoped for. This putt here going across the green just has a little bit of subtle left to right in it. It looks like we might be finally getting a better feel for the pace here. That's 2 back-to-back really steady 2-putts right there. That par keeps us even through 13. The 14th hole is a par 4, 405 yards. Now overall this hole is very straight. You can see it goes out and it goes drastically downhill, and the fairway goes heavily from right to left. You have to keep your drive down the right side here if you want to hit the slope and stay in the fairway. And that there was very nicely done. Right up the right side of the fairway. That's going to kick down the slope and to the left, but it will hold the fairway. 129 yards left in here. Pin on the top shelf. This was a little bit back into the wind. I'm hitting a pitching wedge here. Really nice strike, drawing in off the lie. It landed up top, which it does. Though the greens again They've been very firm the previous day. Finding them a little bit inconsistent and harder to judge today. I did not expect that that was going to check up and spin back down the slope. That was a very good golf shot that I just don't feel I got rewarded for. And now we have another tough 2-putt. Going back up the slope. Just not able to give it quite enough gas. We've got another one of these 6 or 7 footers here left for par. This should continue going back up the hill and break a little bit from left to right based on my read. And it somehow broke to the left. So hit a good putt, hit my line with my pace. But that is going to be another 3-putt bogey. That will get us back to 1 over par on the day. That was pretty heartbreaking after how hard we fought to get back to even. The 15th hole is a very interesting par 3. Tees were up a little bit today. It's playing 150 yards, or 158 yards, pardon me, slightly downhill. See, this green is wide, but very narrow. And this is another one that was very firm in the practice round. Got it slightly downwind today. So I'm just hitting a high and soft 9-iron. This one a great line just right of the flag. Lands short of pin high, takes a massive bounce and goes right off the back of the green. Now, it did stay on the fringe, but the bounce that thing took was insane. This putt here from the back fringe going back downhill for birdie. Good effort there, just broke off to the right a little bit more than I expected, but we will take the tap-in par. The 16th hole is a 382-yard par 4, again dead straight, pretty wide. You can kind of miss this thing anywhere. Now the reason I'm not hitting driver is that I did in the practice round and put myself about 60-70 yards short, where you then have an uphill approach shot a little bit downwind to what I can consider the firmest green on the course. So the idea with 3-wood is to lay it back a little further so I can come in with more spin. Fortunately, I missed this one to the left. Not happy about that, but I do get lucky because I do have an angle in. I have 110 yards here. This is my lob wedge. I know how firm this green is, so I need height and as much spin as I can generate. See if I can get that up onto the green. And this thing never thought about stopping. Just released forever. I end up with a putt from the back right of the green to a front right pin. Again, another one where pace is going to be important here. And though pace control is usually one of my strengths, I'm clearly really struggling with it on these greens here today. Another one of these long par putts here. We've made a bunch of those today to save par, and thank God. The 17th hole is a 514-yard par 5. Just want a bit of a double dogleg. Doglegs right off the tee and then back up to the left on the second shot. So I'm trying to take this drive just kind of over the trees that we see on the right side here, just over the left corner of them with a bit of a fade. It's a good drive. It doesn't fade, and it's just a slight little pull, but it's well hit, and that ball flight is not usually going to get me in trouble, so I'm pretty happy with that. 230 yards left in. We do not have an angle at the green, so I'm just hitting gap wedge up over the trees to try and get myself back in the fairway. It's a good swing there, nice strike, right on my intended line. Just land in the rough, skip into the fairway. We have set ourselves up very well to attack this with our third shot, except that my ball ended up in a divot. And not at the front of a divot, right at the back of it, which is the less desirable place to be in a divot. Harder to get the club on the back of the ball. 98 yards here uphill. This is a sand wedge. It's See, I try really hard to go down and get that. I actually did hit that very well, just left of the flag. Distance control looked pretty stellar from where we were. Now it did release a little bit past the hole. We do have a quick downhill birdie putt here on the par 5. Really nice roll, good pace, just a slight misread. This here left for par. Tap that in. We're 1 over, heading on to the 18th hole. Now 18 is quite a challenging par 4. You can see a bunker down the left side. That you absolutely want to avoid, because it's basically a one-stroke penalty. You just have to get the ball out. You can't get it onto the green. There isn't a ton of room down the right either, so you really have to kind of thread the needle here. Unfortunately, I hit a bit of a low pull straight at the bunker, which, as mentioned, is really the one place that you cannot go. So 175 yards left out of this bunker. You can see how close I am to that front face. I'm not getting this up by the green. This is gap wedge, just chunking it out, advancing it up the fairway, give myself a wedge in, try to make par the hard way. So we had 120 yards left here, uphill, a little bit downwind. This is sand wedge. Pin was just at the top of a little ridge. This should have been plenty of club to get up there. Unfortunately it did, but it spun back down the hill, which again, expecting the greens to be firm, did not forecast that. Another tough 2-putt here to save bogey. So you go up that slope, and I finish the day with a good pace putt, because my lord, I did not want to stress over another 8-footer here to save the bogey. Very up and down round of golf. Pretty poor start. Really good rally. Definitely struggled with the pace on the greens, but there was a lot to like about the way that I played. 2 over par finish. Not what we were looking for, but we'll take it. Alright guys, apologies for the lack of light. Back at the hotel, just want to recap that first round. There was a lot to like. One of the better driver rounds I've had all year. Kept the ball in play, a couple of slight miss hits, but the ball was always out in front of me. That's nice. I would love to get used to that, just consistently having the ball in play. Iron and wedge play was reasonable, not fantastic, but okay. And unfortunately, I just had zero feel for pace on the greens, which was very frustrating because that's normally one of my strengths. Greens were a lot faster today than they were in the practice round. It's no excuse. Obviously other players were able to adjust. I didn't do a very good job of adjusting. Did stay and work on my putting after the round. Realized that there was something going on in my stroke that was not going to help me with pace, but long story short, I just didn't have the feel, so I've got to do a much better job on that tomorrow. So 2 over par, 74, tied 28th at the moment. I think there was only 18 guys who broke par today. There's, I think it's four guys, maybe 5, tied at 4 under in the lead. So we're not out of this. We still got 36 holes to go. It's going to take a good round tomorrow to get back into it though. So if I can continue to build off of the things that I did well today, i.e. driver, i.e. wedges, and I'd like the iron play to be just a little bit better. If we can do that and make some putts, then we're right back in this tournament with 18 holes to play. So all that being said, I'm gonna get some rest. 9:40 tee time tomorrow. So up bright and early again, getting ready to go. All right guys, hope you enjoyed this round 1 recap from the Oakfield Country Club in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Obviously a very frustrating round for me, especially considering how the game's been trending. Just a lot of silly mistakes and throwing shots away. If I could have avoided that, we would have been in much better shape heading into round 2. But speaking of round 2, make sure you come back next week where I fight to get myself up the leaderboard, back in contention in this 3-day championship. If you're new to the channel or you've been around for a while and you haven't yet, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We have surpassed 10,000. The growth continues to be unbelievable. Please continue leaving me your feedback in the comment section below. It'd mean a great deal to us if you could like the video, because that'll help push it into the algorithm. Hype it if you're able to. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with other like-minded individuals. That's a wrap for this week's video. But as always, I'll be back again next week with another video. Cheers, guys.